Hi, this is your host. When King Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered in November 1922, it was hailed as one of the greatest archaeological finds of all time. But just a few months later, the man who found it was dead. Ever since then, the tale of the so-called mummy's curse has fascinated people all over the world. Could there really be such a thing as a supernatural curse, or were there more mundane reasons behind the strange series of events that befell the tomb's discoverers? Let's take a closer look at what happened. In 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter set out to explore the Valley of the Kings near Luxor in Egypt. He hoped to find the tomb of an ancient Egyptian ruler, but he didn't have much luck. In fact, he'd been searching for 5 years with no results. So his sponsor, Lord Carnarvon, decided to move on to another site. But before he left, he told Carter to just dig one more shaft. It was practically a last-ditch effort. And yet, just a few hours later, Carter and his team had made a breakthrough. They had found something incredible. They soon realized that they had stumbled upon the entrance to a previously unknown tomb. And it wasn't just any tomb. The discovery would shock the world, because this one belonged to the boy Pharaoh Tutankhamun. As far as we know today, Tutankhamun ruled over Egypt from 1332 to 1323 BC. He took the throne when he was only 9 years old, possibly even younger, and died around the age of 19. But despite his short life, he left an enduring legacy. His tomb, which remained hidden for over 3,000 years, was one of the greatest finds of all time. But it came with a catch. Soon after its discovery, strange things began to happen. First, there was the death of Lord Carnarvon. He suffered a heart attack on April 5, 1923, just a few months after the tomb's discovery. But that wasn't all. Shortly thereafter, Carter's sister died unexpectedly. And just a year later, the Egyptologist James Breasted also passed away. To top it off, several other people involved in the excavation became seriously ill. People started to wonder if there really was such a thing as a mummy's curse. The legend goes that anyone who disturbs the pharaoh's eternal rest will be killed or suffer illness and misfortune. Some people even blame Carter for violating the final resting place of a pharaoh. But these claims are nothing but superstitious nonsense. There's absolutely no evidence that Tutankhamun's tomb was cursed. In reality, the so-called curse was probably nothing more than a bizarre coincidence. Plus, some deaths were actually caused by another phenomenon, namely the germs. You see, nobody had disturbed the tomb for more than 3,000 years, and when Carter and his team finally opened it, they unleashed all kinds of bacteria, fungi, and parasites into the outside world. Archaeologists later found that the air in the tomb contained dangerous spores, and when Carter walked through the opening, some of them got into his lungs and made him very sick. Other members of his team got sick in the same way. The stuff that killed him, however, was probably cocooned off inside the tomb. After all, it remained sealed for thousands of years. In other words, it's unlikely that anything harmful would have survived that long. Nevertheless, the rumors about the supposed mummy's curse continued and still haven't stopped. People like to believe in the supernatural, especially when it comes to ancient Egypt. That's why many conspiracy theorists still claim that the curse is real. They say that Tutankhamun's spirit is haunting the Valley of the Kings, and anyone who dares to disturb his eternal rest will pay for it. Whether or not there really is a curse, we can't know for sure. What we do know is that the deaths of Lord Carnarvon and Carter's sister weren't caused by the pharaoh's wrath. Instead, it was probably just bad luck. But what do you think? Do you believe in the mummy's curse? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to learn more about archaeology and ancient history. See you next time.